Yeah, let's go. Ching, ching.
Cheap show. Oh, boy. That'll be relevant later, listeners.
Oh, God, if it stays in.
In the first aeon, I was the Great Spirit. In the second aeon, men knew me as the Horned God, Pangenitor, Panphage. In the third aeon, I was the Dark One, the Devil. In the fourth aeon, men knew me not, for I am the Hidden One. In the fifth aeon, I appeared before you as Baphomet, the god before all gods who shall endure to the end of the earth. In this new aeon, I appear to you as CMN.
Imagine that there is a brilliant white light just above.
Is commentary on the magic art.
In the years of the primal force and the dawn of terrestrial birth.
Oh, that was very educational.
Now magic will take place. Don't be fooled by what I just said.
This is CMN. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. I am Saturn's Majesty Kennedy, and this is Chaos Magic News, the only occult media made with love under will. With me is my Kabbalistic co-host, Bargain Bana. How you doing, Bargain?
We got some great deals for you this time, listeners.
Cross the Abyss for only $333.
That's a good one. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I got a White Russian and a bottle of water.
I'm on my second 40 ounce, so you know it's going to be a good episode.
Oh, yeah.
If alcohol can't elevate us to the next level of professional, high-quality podcasting, we might as well hang it up.
It's funny. I feel like we don't actually drink a lot on this podcast, but whenever we are drinking, we make it abundantly clear.
Yeah, because we talk about it. We're like, oh, man, we're having a drink. Hey, guys, I'm having a beer. Aren't I cool?
Look how edgy and cool we are. We get drunk on the podcast.
All the listeners are going, you fucking 12-year-olds need to go do your fucking homework. What are you talking about?
So we wanted to start with some retractions from last week's episode.
Yeah, the Cult of Saturn thing is really a confusing mess of a thing.
Oh yeah, it's fucked.
So right off the bat, we'll go with the easy ones. The guy's name is Euodoxia.
You're such a nerd. You're like Exodia.
Well, I don't know what it is. I literally read it as Exodia Mysteries, and I was like, whatever, the guy likes Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't give a shit. He makes entertaining videos. And it is, I was way off. I even messaged him because I wanted to know something about the video and see if maybe he had something still. And I was sort of looking at it, and it's like, that is not how you spell Exodia. Not even with all 5 pieces. But so right off the bat,
man.
mispronounced that name. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to end up in the episode or not, but I refer to the false prophet as the lost prophet like a number of times, and I do it correctly at a couple points too. So I don't know what I was thinking. I was probably just trying to get to the end of the episode. What other minor things?
I think we confused a couple random things, like we referenced stuff that isn't in that video.
Yeah, because I ended up listening to all of the other videos that I had watched on the subject in preparation, and I think I just got stuff mixed up, or I was expecting certain things to come up and I misremembered them. One example was I mentioned that the Saturn cultists are Satanist or sort of about Luciferian sensibilities, and that gets mentioned. That's a fact as far as the Terra story is concerned. It just doesn't get brought up in that specific video. If you were to go and read the thing, it would be a different story. Another notable thing that I just didn't think about it when I was doing my own research, and then I didn't think about it when the videos were going. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that the Terran story is completely fabricated for kicks, because the only evidence that gets shown as far as like photos and messages are all posted to Imgur, where it's, you know, it's pretty easy to fake a screenshot and then put it up on a web hosting service for images. So that's,
I think if anyone didn't get the impression that everything we talked about there could have been faked, they were watching the wrong video or listening to the wrong podcast.
yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Because I'm walking away from this thinking that it's like 3 people that did all of this.
Right.
We do have added follow-up that file dump that gets referenced throughout the video and the pod. That is gone. That's gotten scrubbed from the internet, right?
Yeah, it's totally gone. And I'm not sure if it's because Anon Files, the website, is going through some issues and it's already kind of suspect to start with, and they just cleared house, or if it's a case of whoever put it up there saw people talking about it and said enough was enough or something to that effect. I even heard somebody float the theory that that file dump itself was another attempt to get intrigue, to get people to pay attention to Frank's False Prophet HQ website. And that brings us to the other thing, is that the False Prophet HQ website is totally up. It's still up. As far as
we did it again. No one was talking about this. No one cared. We bring it up, and then suddenly the wheels are turning. Everything's in motion.
Well, I don't know when it was back up, because, well, I guess the other thing is that if all the other videos that I watched and all the other quote unquote researchers didn't figure out that the website was still up or back up before we did, that's very sad. That means you didn't do anything. You just looked at the file dump and then didn't think, hey, maybe these guys are still around. But the notable thing about the website is that the entire e-zine format, it's completely gone. There's nothing reminiscent of whatever was supposedly going on with people saying, oh, Frank was having us make art and do articles and everything else. It's literally a weird puzzle box ARG type website. But the caveat to that is that, and this goes back to what we were saying in the last episode, if this is an ARG, it's by somebody who has some spooky woo-woo sensibilities. They've done some reading. You can even look at the very beginning of the website. It talks about Aonix and Aleister Crowley and this, that, and the other. It's very clear that whoever was behind this had some occult knowledge. Now, that's nothing special, but it just goes to show that it's the type of person that was doing this. And
it made more sense than Mark Frost talking about Jack Parsons in the Twin Peaks book.
You just want to bring up Twin Peaks again, don't you?
Through the darkness of futures past, the magician longs to see.
One cries out between two worlds.
This is CMN.
All right. I think that's about it for the retractions.
Yeah. Don't get used to it. We're only doing retractions because we think this one's actually interesting. We don't care about anything else we've ever gotten wrong in the pod.
I still think that this is a very fascinating thing because, like I said in the last episode, I think that there's the possibility that some of this is true, or there's, at the very least, that there are spooky woo-woo people behind it. But then the question is, to what end? Is this some sort of weird, esoteric game where they want to get people in to give them the knowledge of the secret handshake club? Probably not. But that's definitely the game that they're playing at. However, if anybody can get their hands on that 5 gig zip file I would really, 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 really like to dig through it. And I think I think that might be the reason we're still talking about it, is because it's gone now. It's gone.
That's the reason everyone else is talking about it.
Yeah.
No, they're all talking about it because we talked about it.
I imagine this ARG will just be a forgotten remnant of the internet like it has been. I don't think anything's going to come of it unless somebody wants to get Frank Webster to come on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. If anyone knows Frank, tell him you can be interviewed by Magic's premier news officiant. I don't know where I was going with
News
that.
Yahoos.
Yeah, you can be used by those guys.
Those guys. All right.
Those guys. So our opening topic, we were going to talk about the commercialization of the Magic aesthetic, which is appropriate given that it's entirely possible that this is just somebody using spooky woo-woo imagery to get people to ultimately make some money somehow.
Yeah, the commercialization of occult symbolism and aesthetics is going to be the recurrent theme of this episode. So I just think it's really interesting because, as we talked about, we're in the midst of the occult revival. I'm gonna hammer on that until I am correct. But
it's gonna be 40 years from now.
see,
We're in the midst. I was right, as we're channeling out the episodes via scrying board.
A scrying board bought at Spencer's Gift.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the first place to start, right? Because let's be honest, what really starts making occult symbols something that gets like put on T-shirts and shit like that? Like death metal bands, or not even death metal, just metal bands. They start getting really into pentagrams and shit like that, and that's where it starts. That's where I see that beginning.
Oh yeah, totally.
And there's a bit of it in like the hippie movement too, where you have lots of like, Buddhist symbolism and Hindu type symbolisms kind of working their way into fashion and culture and stuff.
You're talking overall and not just in like what's brought it back lately. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I do think it's sort of that's where it starts. This is where it really gets into the grips of like, regular fashion and just things that people wear, as opposed to, more niche areas of like, oh, I really like Black Sabbath, so I have like a thing with a pentagram on it. But when it really starts turning into like magic as strictly spooky woo-woo type things, just worming their way into culture hardcore, in the last couple of years, it's become almost impossible not to see it.
Oh yeah, I mean, tarot decks are becoming more and more common.
And the imagery of tarot.
There's, you can go into any bar in any city and look around for maybe, 15 minutes? You're going to find somebody wearing a very blatant occult symbol around their neck or on their shirt or on a ring. It's just everywhere. How many Hamsas or evil eye necklaces do you see these days?
Oh God, those are freaking everywhere now. I don't know when that happened. I just looked up one day and suddenly a billion eyes were staring at me like biblically correct angels.
Like that. But hell, I mean, Walmarts are selling sage bundles, and granted, we can talk about clothes practices, we can talk about making money off of the practices of indigenous people, that sort of thing, but I'm just making the point that it's becoming so normalized amongst everybody. I think it has a lot to do with new agey people, higher vibration whatevers, that don't have a rigidly defined structure about what their beliefs are, but it's the I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual crowd. Those people.
Oh, yeah. Very 1995.
Well, yeah. And then it's like the multi-level marketing scam, pyramid scheme, essential oils type people, all of these things. You can look all around. It's like, crystals are becoming more common. The people talking about manifestation, like even the most mundane stuff of go into the stationery or like the little notebooky sections of a department store, right? You're gonna find something that's got like a triple moon, your like Book of Shadows or your manifestation journal, like something like it's all becoming so commonplace. And granted, it's a lot of very surface level, but by the nature of commercializing and selling to the lowest common denominator, that's what you're gonna do. It's everywhere.
I was having a conversation with somebody, and they told me that they split magic into 3 different kind of categories. Without getting into specifics of it too hardcore, he discussed how like low level, low class magic, and this, don't be under any illusions, we were having a conversation about class. Low class magic tends to be very simple things, sympathetic magic, magic to make things happen, magic to get a job, magic to get a girlfriend. And I think that's what is really predominating in the so-called public consciousness of magic. And I know it's wrapped up with lots of different spiritual sentiments too, because they're incredibly vague. They don't have a rough cosmology or a very, in all honesty, a very well-formed ontology. There's nothing about these kind of ideas that are really resonant beyond sort of emotional and honestly feel-good kind of sentiments about
a bunch
the
of
universe
losers.
and the nature and shit.
You're a bunch of dorks. You think that like universe is all lovey-dovey, everything's love, higher vibration, we're all connected. No, you guys don't even get it, man. You don't understand. That's why Azathoth is going to fuck you up. Actually, whoa, hold on. I just thought about it. No, because those are the 2 camps, all right? You're going to find the love and light, where it's essential oils and incense in the Walmart and your manifestation journal and everything else, where it's like, all right, overwhelming spiritual positivity that doesn't have a real underlying metaphysics. And then you're going to get the super dark, pseudo-Satanist, edgy, metalhead type aesthetic where everything's dark and blood and we're going to sacrifice a kid type vibes, but you're not really going to do it because it's just like, you're just goofing.
I was just funning you, Mom.
Yeah,
I still believe in Jesus.
I'm just doing this
I want
to
my
rebel.
Christmas presents.
Right. Those are the 2 extreme ends of it, but they have the commonality of their surface level, nothing really about them type stuff. This is what like a LaVeyan Satanism and like a New Ager. I wish I had a better name because I've already said New Age and Love and Light and higher vibration multiple times, but you know the people.
Yeah.
And those are the two groups that will tend to fork over money for stuff, for like things that are, for lack of a better word, things that are really cheap.
I mean, yeah. On the other hand, it's like, I don't know. As far as buying occult things is always kind of a strange area anyway for me. Not because like I want to make my own incense, because I fucking don't. Not even that, like, I don't think that like you can just buy a fucking statue if you want a statue of something, or buy a fucking book, or, you know, hell, if you find a really nice wand and you want to buy it, that's cool. But it's a strange kind of area to be in and have to work around. I think that the kind of people that are going to Walmart and buying the My Manifestation Journal tend to be people that don't take this thing very seriously to begin with. And that's kind of what I mean when I'm getting into this idea of like this low class magic. Like what they're doing is sort of a substitute for either a religious calling or just feeling generally disempowered by the world, but they don't have much of a ability to sort of critique and question the sort of things that they're looking at when they go, you know, they get in, they hear about like, oh, well, you can sage things and it will like help clear the energy in your house. They learn about manifesting from some book in the fucking CVS checkout line. It's like manifesting a better life in 25 minutes.
No, they learned manifesting from a reel on Instagram or Facebook or a
you're right.
TikTok.
How silly of me to think that they're reading books.
Nobody reads. You don't read to learn magic.
It's like the Sephora fucking occult witch starter kit nonsense, right? It's
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
from a couple years ago.
Like
It's
exactly what
anyone
we're talking
buying
about.
I would like to say in a perfect world, everyone who bought one of those like had a real awakening by doing magical shit with it, and they're like, wow, I should take this stuff kind of seriously. But more than likely they didn't, and if they did experience anything, it was self-delusion.
Here's my counterpoint. Coming to the defense of all of the budding maguses that don't even realize what great magicians they are yet. Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Everyone does.
Everybody's got
But
to start somewhere. Man. If you
that's
start,
just sort of my issue. I feel like if you're not competent and intelligent enough to be questioning that, like, maybe the fucking Sephora magic starter kit I bought isn't a great place to start magically. If I want to be critical and think about this, maybe learning about like how to do a fucking spell jar on TikTok. I don't know. I guess I'm just being too judgmental there, I suppose. If that's where you got your start and you were like, you know, and if you just did it because you're like, maybe it'll work, and it worked and it set you down the path of doing actual work, then fucking great. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that stuff like that happened to them. But there's just seems to be some sort of issue in my head that I can't wrap around that just tells me that the people that are like buying their sage at Walmart aren't really gonna be the cream of the crop here.
Well, it's the great filter thing, right? The fact is that most of the people that are buying these things will never do anything. I think I said it a couple episodes back talking about tarot decks. The vast majority of people that are buying tarot decks aren't even going to do anything with them. They're going to thumb through them, and then they're going to be like, oh, okay, that's neat. I'm done.
Yeah, it'll go on their bookshelf, or maybe they'll take out the card they like and like put it on the shelf or pin it to their wall.
Or maybe they'll eat it. Just eat the whole tarot deck. Like a pack of graham crackers, basically. That would be impressive. But the vast majority of people that buy anything occult related aren't going to do jack with it. And that includes the occultists that bought it. So
oh, right.
Yeah, but everyone's got to start somewhere. And if you started with like the DIY magic in a jar kit that you got from TJ Maxx,
Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works. Yeah.
I don't think, does TJ Maxx still exist?
It does.
I thought they stopped No.
It's TJ Min. They downsized.
I am going to hurt you. You're actually going to be in pain.
We're bringing back the boo for this episode, aren't we?
I mean, it's yeah.
It's playing nonstop through this entire section.
It's playing nonstop through this entire season. This whole year is just going to be one long boo.
I already called it. This is going to be a very bad year for us. 2023, Hail Eris.
Oh, God.
Well, you know, there is one thing that I thought of while you were talking about the iffiness of buying things for Magic. I think that very often what it comes down to is that I buy something when I need it, in the idea of buying the egg without haggling.
Oh, right, yeah.
If you need this for a ritual, you're going to do whatever you're going to do to get it. You're going to steal it. You're going to buy it. You're going to give your pinky for it, you know, whatever. And then on the other thing is, can you, even if you've bought it for yourself, whatever, can you infuse this object with significance? Right now, I have a little frog statue where he's sitting in like a squat pose with his hand on his chin, sort of pondering. And I'm not going to get into why this thing is significant to me and why it's important. But I bought this for
you found it in a trunk.
No. I bought this thing for $1.25 yesterday, of all things, right? But
oh, nice.
But I'm looking at this thing, and he's got a real significance to me. There's a reason that I have him. If it was just a thing, if it was just like something I had around, whatever, it'd be nothing. It's just stuff. It's junk even. A $1.25 little frog statue. Instead, because of the way that the human brain works, to an extent the way that magic works. This thing is infused with meaning to me. It doesn't matter if it's anybody else, I guess. But to me, at least, this dumb little frog looking off in wonder, honestly looking a little sad, has some not even sentiment, but some worth in a magical, spiritual, mental, emotional sense. So that would be my answer. If you've got a practical reason for it, get it. If there's something in you that is like, yeah,
I must have this.
This thing's important, and here's why. Or even if you can't explain it yet, maybe you can explain it later. Go for it. Don't feel bad about buying stuff, especially if it's $1.25, right? Like, who doesn't have $1.25? And if you don't have $1.25, start a GoFundMe and tag us.
Frog statues for all.
Frog statues for all. Please donate.
If elected, every citizen will receive a small frog statue.
If we ever
ennui.
If we ever start a Patreon for if you do $5 a month for a year, we will send you a frog statue
we will give you one.
that I personally find infused with significance.
What's the CMN merchandise that we're gonna sell? How are we gonna commercialize magic?
I mean, we got a logo that we plaster on everything. So t-shirts are an option.
No, but like what's like the magic stuff we're gonna sell though? I'm thinking like Eucharist packs. It's like a Lunchable, but it comes pre-blessed.
Dude, if we can get those little Eucharist wafers and get the logo printed on them, holy shit.
Oh, we got to look into this.
Oh my God.
That's got to be good.
Bro, what if we start a store and that's the only thing we sell? How many do you think we could sell reasonably? Like if we sell,
I don't know, maybe 5.
If we sell one, but it would be worth it because I would sit there with a box full of them and just laugh hysterically all the time. The body of Christ.
Okay.
The body of Cast.
Good.
There we go.
With that, it's time to walk into the Oh, sorry. I got a weird text.
Is it from your mama? I sent your mama a weird text. Bro, I said I sent your mama a weird text.
Oh, wow.
You heard me?
It's magic related.
No way.
It's magic related, so I feel like we should talk about it.
No bullshit.
My Tulpa is giving me satanic thoughts.
Who the fuck's...
They sent me a Reddit thing that says, my Tulpa is giving me satanic thoughts. I've had my Tulpa since I was around 10, and now I'm almost 18. I can't remember when he first found me or how we even met, but throughout my life, we have always been best friends. He's helped me get through my grandparents and cat passing away, and we trust each other with our lives. He has helped me so much in the past, such as helping me do my exams, calming me down during my worst times, etc. I've had no problems with him until recently in December. And then, oh my God, there's so many paragraphs. I think it's just a gentleman that has schizophrenia, honestly. My Tulpa doesn't like meeting new people. I didn't realize I was talking out loud and was getting weird looks from people walking by.
Bro.
Oh, man, this is bad.
What if
This is bad.
What if I'm the Tulpa?
Oh.
We're
not. That's if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Anyway, let's get on with the news.
Pause for just a sec. No. Pause for just a sec. Who sent you that? You should just like put a loud expletive bleep and then just have me go, oh, and then have this part in where I explain it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
All right, cool. You want to get to the next section?
Yeah, let's go.
I think it's about time that we do everyone's favorite section, where we delve deep into the muck and the mire that is the headlines. And we ask ourselves, what's in the news?
What is in the news indeed? No one expected it. How fast-moving floods took a deadly toll on California's capital. Storms took 5 lives in Sacramento County, where a year of heat wave and drought was followed by record rain. Once again, just like in last week, you got your crazy uncle like, man, they can't save water. They got all that water down in Sacramento.
Y'all didn't put out enough buckets.
Our hearts are out there with California people, because you guys just get fucked all the goddamn time.
It's rough over there. I'm making light of it because this is a silly podcast of silly people. But it's got to be rough. I hate to just chalk it up to the ravages of climate change, but that's probably what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
It's what it is. That and the lack
Yeah.
of real infrastructure support and everything else, in the same way of like why can't they do anything about the rainwater? It's like, well, probably because they haven't built enough reservoirs, and reservoirs don't appear over fucking night. That's sad. I wish I had a magical insight there. Maybe there's something to do with the bizarre extremes of America's hyper fixation with what's going on in California. Like, no matter what part of the country, you have so much cultural influence and clout, for lack of a better word, focused in a single area. And then meanwhile, it's like it's got outrageous problems of income inequality and homelessness and fucking no water.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I guarantee you
This thing will be in the news for like a week and a half, and when Kentucky got fucked last year, it was there for like 3 days.
that's probably a fair assessment too, honestly.
Yeah.
If it ain't New York and California, it didn't happen as far as the USA News is concerned.
Yep. Japan's PM vows to modernize military for new era of threats.
What does that mean?
Probably getting a lot of drones, I guess. Japan has been officially pacifist since its defeat in the Second World War, but it has been shedding past sensitivities as China rapidly expands its military and North Korea relentlessly tests missiles. So basically, Japan is saying we know where our bread is buttered and getting ready to fight the Reds.
Oh boy, I guess the halftime show for the Cold War is over, huh?
Yep, we're getting right into the third quarter.
I mean, it was neat when we all took a break and decided that buildings blowing up and ongoing military conflict in the Middle East was really the move. But I think we are about to get back into the game.
That was just a fireworks display. We're getting right back into getting ready for total nuclear annihilation on all fronts. This time we're gonna have robots, though.
Yeah, this time fucking we'll have Call of Duty motherfuckers operating joysticks to kill each other. All in the name of capital. Yay!
Woo!
I feel like we've shied away from actual political stances in the last couple of episodes, but I'm about done with my second
right back
40
into
ounce. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Fuck the ongoing and that's not even a controversial fucking stance, is it? Like, really?
No, it shouldn't be.
Fuck the ever encroaching capitalist industrial war machine that decides to chew up men and just drink their blood and spit out profit for weapons manufacturers and the ongoing interest of resource extraction. And it's like, I don't have any love. I don't have any love for Russia, but
yeah, I don't have much love for China either. I like the railroads.
Or China. Yeah, it's all right. My brain went to look. The bottom line is like, that story about the man from the cliff where there's a tiger at the top, and then down at the bottom of the cliff there's another tiger, and then there's the strawberry.
Yeah.
CMN is the strawberry. And the tigers on the cliff are the tigers on the cliff or whoever are the people that you don't like and the other people you don't like. Oh, boy.
Amsterdam calls for crackdown on menace of souped up e-bikes. Demon young riders speeding at 40 kilometers per hour are making the Dutch city's once cycle-friendly streets dangerous, and the problem is spreading.
I'm American. 40 kilometers. What is that? Like 15 miles an hour?
What the actual hell? Demon riders.
Are they actual demons? Are they like Goetia? Is Paimon there? Asmodee? Astaroth?
Bilal just running off on a fucking souped up fucking Huffy.
Who's your most who do you think is the most underrated demon? Oh, I know what your answer's gonna be.
Well, no, we're not on speaking terms right now.
Oh.
You have failed me for the last time, Starscream.
Oh,
he can get a mention. He can get a mention on the podcast when he wants to act like a fucking adult and do his job.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. That's so funny. Oh man, this is going to be
none of the listeners will.
This is gonna
your move.
This is gonna be a shitty episode, but I think this is maybe the most fun I've had on it. I just wish I had more alcohol. I'm already out of alcohol.
Oh
Damn.
man, I'm sorry.
Oh man.
What's the
hold on. Pause. Shit. Fuck.
What'd you do?
My leg.
Charlie Horse?
Yeah, Charlie Horse. Oh.
Charlie Horse is short for Charles Equine.
No, it's short for Charles. It's short for Do you want to redo that?
No, but I have
No.
we have another headline that's related to this. Electric vehicles are expensive. These commuters ditched cars altogether for e-bikes. Yeah, the demon riders. They're going ham.
The Morax MC Motorcycle Club. Also, I have exciting news.
What?
There we go. Can't hear the pop, but I had more.
No, I
alcohol.
heard it. I heard it.
All right. But electric vehicles are expensive, so e-bikes are like a better solution. I mean,
I guess cheaper.
I'm not a fan of motorcycles for personal reasons, but I guess do what you got to do. I would just think that maybe the answer would be reliable and well-planned public transit.
Oh, that's an idea. Wow. Huh.
Yeah, and not like a hyperloop that hasn't made any progress in 5 years. I'm talking like, actual, trains, buses, stuff like that. Like, and granted, I'm not the most well researched when it comes to this, but I do know that public transit can be done pretty well. There are some countries and some cities in America even that do it decently, So why don't they get funding? Why don't we pour more funding into these sort of things so that people don't have to walk around indebted to paying off a vehicle that they can't really afford or would be better served if they didn't have to pay for it every month, that sort of thing. But, whatever.
Because trains are stupid. Buses are dumb. You want to ride in a really long, thing that moves forward? That sounds pretty sus to me, bro.
Bring back the trolley car. This isn't really a headline, but can I tell you a thing that happened to me while I was trolling through Twitter?
Go for it. Like
many people, I get a lot of my news from Twitter because sometimes that's the best place to get your news, no joke. But I remembered seeing a thing about a proposed piece of legislation that would outright ban anything that was gender affirming surgery or treatment, trans people, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to find it again to talk about it specifically on this episode. But the problem is, if you look up specifics on anti-trans, gender affirming bans and hormone treatment and everything like that, you get everything. It's everywhere. And in the spirit of putting our political hot takes and really firmly stating what our fucking opinions are for all of you dear listeners, trans rights, let people do what the fuck they want to do. Like, get the fuck out of people's way. How are you going to pretend that you care about the individual's rights and then try to keep them from doing shit? Let people live. What is wrong with you? Why are you demonizing trans people? I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a tirade. And it's a lot of it is just, I'm really sick of trans people becoming the new boogeyman, because that's the one minority fringe group that everyone is still kind of sort of okay with hating because they ran out of other minority groups. So instead, it's just the boogeyman for certain, not gonna name names, groups under the guise of protecting certain, won't somebody think of the fucking children? And meanwhile, they don't give a damn about anybody. They definitely don't give a damn about children. It's just weird reverse end identity politics to keep people happy while they economically fuck the lower class.
Well, let no one say that we're not a fair and balanced podcast, because this next one, I'm going to be on the complete opposite side of the so-called woke agenda. The USC office removes field from its curriculum, citing possible racist connotations.
Removing what?
Field. F-I-E-L-D.
What field?
An office within the University of Southern California School of Social Work says it is removing the term field from its curriculum because it may have racist connotations related to slavery. The newly renamed Office of Practicum Education, formerly known as the Office of Field Education within the university's Suzanne Dork Peck School of Social Work, is making the change in order to be more inclusive, according to a memo sent out to faculty and students this week and obtained by NPR. This change supports anti-racist social work practice by replacing language that could be considered anti-black or anti-immigrant in favor of inclusive language. The memo reads,
how does this tangibly help
language can be powerful, and phrases such as going into the field or field work may have connotations for descendants of slavery and immigrant workers that are not benign. I don't know how I feel about that. That just seems really fucking pointless.
While the conservatives literally throw legislation to strip people of their rights, and then at the same time do things like support the pseudo military occupation, that's probably a strong word, while they support the police in doing actions that are obviously racially motivated and systemic, as in the system is intended to operate this way against minorities. They think, you know what the answer is? Let's change a silly little word. And it's just, that's
the change at the USC school comes as a growing number of entities take steps to remove terminology with ties to slavery or racism. Within the computer science field, they just used field.
You just did it.
Yeah.
Hypocrites.
Some people are ditching terms like master and slave, while the Girl Guides of Canada recently renamed its brownies branch. Why? Brownies are delicious. There's nothing racist about a
I thought
brownie.
Brownies were aren't brownies like the Fae?
Oh, yeah.
Like gnome
Yeah.
type
They're
fuckers?
little gnomey dudes. They make the brownies.
What am I supposed to call? I just think that somewhere in between this, there is a middle ground. And I don't mean that as a centrist, like, oh, the answer is just in the middle. I just mean like between the two things that we just talked about, where one group is actively trying to fuck over a minority fringe group, and they're not really kind to most minorities anyway, as long as if you ain't cis white, male, and rich, they don't give a shit about you. Well, if you're a cis white male and want to vote for them or fleece you out of your money, then they're okay with it. They don't give a shit if you die in the street because you're poor, but whatever. But then on the other side, there is this fucking featherweight identity politics fucking nonsense that doesn't tangibly help anybody. What are you really fucking doing? And there's also the hypocritical things like, well, what are you doing? And it's like, well, I'm not trying to divert from the real issues by making a big to-do about this nonsense.
What are we supposed to call field recording now?
I don't know. And maybe the answer is just that, like, the way media reports on things to make small whatevers of, like, if this wasn't a headline, we wouldn't be talking about it, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, I'll be honest, because I wouldn't. You're kind of right about that. Like, it doesn't actually matter in the slightest because I never would have known. I can't think of a situation where I would have somehow have known about it.
You know what? You're absolutely that. I think that maybe
the only way it would have happened when I looked at something and it said, "What the fuck does Office of Practicum Education mean?" And they're like, "Oh, it's a field education." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But that's the whole point. You'd have to say field education for me to know what you're talking about. Or you would have described it to me and I would have said, like, "Oh, it's field education." And they would have said, "Yes, but we don't call it that anymore." And I'd be like, "Why?" And then I'd be having this conversation. But that still implies that I'd somehow find out what Office of Practicum Education was.
You know what? You know what it is? In a weird way, it's this weird prescriptivism, right? Where it's the idea that you think by actively using certain words, you can do certain things, right? Or you can get people to think differently, right? And I'm not against that idea because that's like a proven thing. The way you phrase things causes people to react and think differently about it. So maybe we're just being reactionary here.
Yeah, we could be.
I guess on another level, it's who the fuck cares. And it's who the fuck cares on both ends. Who cares if they change it? Who cares if it stays the same? And maybe it's just we don't have the background to say whether or not the word field causes problems for us.
Yeah, but at the same time, this feels like feel good nonsense that doesn't actually do anyone any good.
Absolutely.
This does absolutely not. The working class people don't care about this sort of thing in the slightest, and the only people that care about it are the other people going to schools like that and working in institutions like that. It's entirely for them.
The bowels of academia.
Yeah.
Where quite often the ivory tower class don't know what the hell is going on are often the ones that are, strangely enough, it's like they blame academia for radicalizing and making people communist, socialist, this, that, and the other. But I don't know about you, but talk to some academics, and these are some people that are completely out of the fucking loop of what the struggles of the working class actually are.
Corruption scandal in Ukraine's International Legion. Why an Australian TV star is accused of stealing millions.
You got to give me more than that. That is such a confusing headline. He did with who at the Ukraine?
Few Russians or Ukrainians will likely have
nice
heard
chaos?
of... Oh God, it is. Few Russians or Ukrainians will likely have heard of The Block. It's an Australian reality show in which couples compete against each other to renovate homes and sell them at auction for the highest possible price. This may have provided the perfect cover for Amis Fagic. It's F-A-G-K. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. It's Australian, so I assume they pronounce it wrong.
Doesn't that mean cigarette over there? Worst episode ever.
So anyway, Amis, a participant who fled the land down under after she attempted to buy a renovated property at great expense using fake bank slips to join Kiev's International Legion as his official spokesperson. What does that even mean? Like, what?
We are a fucking circus. Circus planet. Clown world. Whatever you want to call it, man.
Yeah, that is absolutely nut. What is even going
Headlines
on here?
That couldn't exist even 30, 40 years ago.
Oh, right.
You know? What? Fucking what?
Yeah, I'm incredibly confused by that. We've said it multiple times. Fraud is good magic, but only if you don't get caught.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if she escaped, if she's off being a spokesperson in a foreign country.
Well,
and
no, but
she's,
now
I
she's
don't
getting
know,
investigated for something else.
Oh.
Bajik is accused by the Security Service of Ukraine of stealing millions of dollars worth of medical supplies intended for Ukrainian soldiers and Legion funds, which she denies. She was reportedly involved in a disappearance of a massive 2.5 million shipment of medical supplies and siphoning international donations intended for Kiev's war effort. So, if at first you don't succeed, try till you get caught by the feds.
Man, and you know, I guess Jesus Christ, man, yeah, she's got a real 24 karat run of bad luck, huh?
Yeah.
Like damn. First you get like, damn, the banknotes got. She's just a really bad criminal, isn't it? Like isn't that? I don't remember who said it, but it was something like the thing about good criminals is that you never know who they are.
Right. Yeah. Unless you're like Pretty Boy Floyd.
Or John Dillinger.
Oklahoma knew him well.
Oh boy. Okay. I mean, it's just,
these headlines are
Oh,
also
that's
getting
a-
clickbaitier and clickbaitier every fucking day. 2 words
Aren't
no
they, man?
president
Aren't
wants
they?
to hear. The bomb.
inoperable cancer.
President Duck.
Lost it.
You lost.
It being the classified documents.
Well, that's actually what this is about, you know.
Oh man. Well, I was gonna say I was talking to my father, and he said him being very anti-Biden said something to the effect of, I don't care if it was the White House chili recipe. If it was classified, it was classified. And the only thing, it's like, I just want to, I've been debating it. Like, I want to make a fake, like a fake document that it just says like Teddy Roosevelt's famous chili. And it's like, Dad, they found it. They found the documents.
The words are special counsel, apparently.
A counsel, you say?
Oh, no. Not talking about that yet.
I don't want to talk about it. It's just funny. His counsel. So Biden just like picking up some documents, drives across town, drops them, leaves them there. You know, he goes over to his mistress' house, leaves some documents because he's like, baby, of course I'm coming back. I'm gonna leave my documents here. You know? Don't you trust me?
I think that Joe,
you think I'm
like
telling
any other president, I would
you
instantly
think I'm telling you malarkey?
Any other president, I would be questioning this more, but I'm fairly certain Biden forgot about the documents entirely. He's just like walking around. Someone just handed him a huge file of like a huge thing just filled with classified documents. Like, now don't lose them, Joe. Do you want me to put them in your bag? No, I'm not a child. I don't remember them. And he's just like losing them like fucking Mr. Magoo. Just a trail of classified documents just following Joe around. Looking like the Family Circus cartoons.
Joe Biden with like a backpack. I'm just imagining Joe Biden with an unzipped backpack, and they're just following
Just a
him.
Paw Patrol backpack that's seen better days.
A dog ate my classified documents.
Do you think that there's any significance to this? Is this just sort of like something that happens with all the presidents and we just don't talk about it, but because they tried to make it a thing about Trump, now they're making it a thing about Biden?
Now, you have read my mind. That is exactly what I think this is. I think that there is going to be an increased scrutiny of everything every single president does in a you fuck me, I fuck you more type policy among the double-headed eagle that is our political system.
And I mean, and that's the thing though, because if they do that, it's going to destroy the office. Because to be the president, you have to do illegal shit. That's the whole fucking point.
Hope
being the president means you just
We
get
can
to
only
you know,
hope.
Nixon was completely right when he was like, when the president does it, it's not illegal. Because it's not. Because what are they going to do? You're not going to arrest the fucking president, or at least you weren't a couple years ago. Now we're all just so polarized. That was the thing that no one actually discussed when they were talking about how polarized we've gotten. The entire possibility that it's like this whole thing was held up on a fucking chewing gum and fucking paper clips kind of thing anyway. So once we just all stop agreeing to just kind of play nice, it's just going to come rattling apart.
Do you hear that?
I heard something. What is it?
That's the sound of our crumbling democracy.
Uh,
No, not really. It is it's a sweet little basset hound with her new toy who decided that she needs to play with it right now. Never get a dog. Don't get with a girl who has a dog. If you are a dog, just don't.
All right, you ready for one more?
You can always do one more.
Ex-Russian president suggests Japanese PM should ritually disembowel himself.
If it was anywhere other than Japan, that wouldn't have the cultural context to, like, not be okay.
It'd be funnier.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's Dmitry Medvedev. He's just been going on a tirade saying, like, fucked up shit to people. He's just on one of those moments.
Good for him. Fuck them all. I mean, you know, that is the most elaborate form of just going, kill yourself.
Wow, man. He's like, you're just a service attendant for the Americans. Man.
Is he wrong?
I mean, definitely not, but like, he's just laying it out there.
Japanese listeners, tell us if he's wrong. But I mean, Japan has been propping up America's interests since World War II.
When we made them,
sorry,
when we said
since
you're going to play ball or we're not going to get out of your country.
Yeah, or you're going to do what the fuck we told you to do. I mean, like, that's not a fucking shock. Shit. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. And I don't have we're missing the chaos. We've got the chaos. We're definitely missing the magic part of the news. It's just chaos news.
Well,
right
I have a weird question.
Shoot.
In the interest of Japanese-American relations, is it strange that Japan has become somewhat of like we'll say a developmental wing for America? And, you know, obviously they're subservient to them militarily, just like lots of other smaller countries are. But culturally, Japan has infected America more than any other nation. I really think that there's not a single nation on the planet that has more of a cultural impact on Western culture in general, but specifically America.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's because it's not just America. It's like all over. It's fucking weebs, dude. We put Japanese culture on a fucking pedestal.
We love it.
Dude.
We eat that shit up.
We eat that shit up. Whether it's because it's like, and the thing is, people would say like, oh, well, you just like the consumer bullshit that they throw out to you. You just like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and everything else. And it's like, but no, dude, because like you talk about Shinto, white people love them some Shinto. White occultists love them some Shinto. And if they don't love some Shinto, they just haven't figured out some Shinto yet. You know?
Yeah, we love we love
real.
Zen as it came from Japan. We are really into all.
Oh yeah, exactly.
We're very much into these sorts of things. I mean, you know, again, it's the old
samurai.
Yeah, samurai. It's the old joke, right? About, you know, it's like we getting Japanese fucking tattoos that just say like fucking fried chicken
nugget. Exactly. America, and by extension, the Western world, because there's plenty of British, there's plenty of Australian, there's plenty of German. No, there's loads of people that just love Japanese culture. Everything about it. Ask any of your friends right now if they want to go to Tokyo. They're all going to be like, fuck yeah, I want to go to Tokyo. Hell yeah. And they're going to have like 20 different things they want to do in Tokyo that might not even happen in Tokyo. They just think it happens in Tokyo because they watch animes.
All right.
I played 14 hours of Yakuza. I know what Tokyo is like, you know? Like, fuck, yeah. So it's interesting, especially given the fact that they have a declining birth rate and they're really looking down the barrel of some unpleasant shit. It's gonna be interesting to watch the lasting impact of and I don't mean this in any kind of like, oh, this is what's gonna happen, but like Japan could totally collapse, like economically, civically, in every sense of the word. You know, Japan could fall into the fucking ocean and we would still be eating up everything they gave us. And that's very strange in the idea of like, I guess the memetics in the sense of like, you know, meme as the idea that self-propagates.
What do you think it is specifically about Japan that kind of reaches our resonance? Do you think it's just because we ended up having such strong economic and military connections to them after Reconstruction? Like, it was just more available because like, you know, we have so many people going to Japan from the West and bringing it back here.
That's definitely part of it. But I think it's just part of it is the absolute and utter uniqueness of Japanese culture and the art forms that it produced, if that makes any sense. Especially because it's like an island country, and granted, I'll also specify in the same way we're talking about the surface level of magical commercialisation, we have a very surface level.
Oh, well, yeah, like that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking about like, you know, the deeper aspects of the Japanese culture are not things that we permeate. Arguably, they're things that we can't even understand fully as Westerners just because of our own cultural backgrounds.
All your friends would love to go to Tokyo. They would hate having to live in Japan for a year, 6 months even. But the point being that it's very fascinating on that level of so many unique variables and factors go into what happened to produce the type of culture and the type of art that Japan has. And I think that creates a fascination for us. Also, Dragon Ball Z is really tight.
I am the Super Saiyan Son Goku!
Okay, so we're going to do something special for you this episode, listeners.
What is it?
Well,
was it my idea?
All of this episode was your idea. The last 2 episodes have been your ideas.
That's why they suck.
Okay, but Bargain Bina and I are particularly big fans of a certain little English podcast.
A certain little English podcast. Put some respect on their name. We're talking about
Cheap Show.
You know what? Here, honestly, for those of you that don't know, there is a podcast called Cheap Show that is a man named Paul Gannon and his co-host Eli Silverman. They are the economy. You're
really channeling them right now because you can't pronounce shit.
Holy shit, right? Yeah, because every episode they flub it like 14 times and then they leave it in. The Economy Comedy Podcast, where they go through the pound stores, rubbish sales, and car boot sales of the UK.
All of our American listeners have just like tuned out entirely. They're like, what the fuck? Those are all made up words.
Yeah, you just said some gobbledygook. I think you were casting a spell on me. And you were
the point
right.
being that they have a segment on their show called The Price of Shite. It's based off The Price is Right. So we're doing a ripoff of a ripoff. We are like in full simulacrum mode now.
Absolutely.
The point being is they get things and they have to guess prices. Bargain Bin over there decided to get a bunch of shit on Five Below.
Yeah, I had all but one item already. And I was waiting for like the time to appropriately pitch this to you of like, hey man, I got a bunch of cheap, tacky magic stuff and you should totally let me talk about it. And we should do like the Cheap Show parody. Because for those who don't know, we are both huge fans of this podcast. It's probably the only podcast I listen to.
I listen to like
consistently at this
3
point.
podcasts, and it is one of the 3. So
Yeah, they are absolute hilarious funny men, and they're just the gold standard of podcasts. But anyway, my beloved sent me a message the other day while I was at work, no less, where it was just a photo of a book, and it was, I'm at Five Below. Do you see this? And I just go, oh my God, 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 oh my God. And she's like, okay, so you do want it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. And she's like, that's what I thought you'd say. So she's wonderful. I love her to death. But anyway, the book is really what brought this whole thing together. So my question is, do I start with the book or do I go through all of the lesser stuff first?
let's go through the lesser stuff first, and then so we can talk about that, because I'm sure we'll have more to talk about with the book than anything.
All right. So here's the name of the game, is that I am going to talk about an item, and I have sent you photographs of these items and everything else. So you know what you're looking at, and you have to tell me how much you think they cost. If you get it within 50 cents, you get a point.
Something like that.
Something like that. And we talk about this pod, but the rules changed on the podcast because they're just as bad at this as we are. They're our inspirations.
All right, so what's the first thing you got?
The first thing is, and I'll even lump the first 2 items together because they're basically the same thing. They just have different aesthetics. One is the Kawaii Tarot
Bringing it
cards.
back to Japan. We always have an unintentional theme every time. This
damn.
time it's
Shit,
commercialism
I didn't
in
even
Japan.
think about that.
Every time. We are so
Oh,
good at this.
dude. We are riding the synchronicity train, and that's great because there isn't any other public transit.
The Kawaii Tarot.
And then also like, and then the other thing too is because both of the tarot decks, because the other one is also a tarot deck, they were the same price. So if you figure out one, you figure out. So the other one is the Celestial Tarot cards. I'm glad that we're putting these at the front because these are the ones that I have the least to talk about because they're just, it's just a tarot deck. It's the Rider Waite format with like a certain aesthetic.
Yeah,
on
the
it.
Kawaii Tarot is kind of
little-
cute, I guess. I mean, it's just got like little emoji heads for the Emperor and the High Priestess. The Two of Cups is like little coffee cups
feels-
with happy faces.
I have the same problem with both of these is because they're lazy. Or, you know what?
Oh no!
I'm trying to
this
actually,
was
I guess
definitely
I'm feeling
this
like
was
compassionate or nice.
this
here.
was not
They're
this was not
lazy,
made
right?
with love and care. This was just we can make a tarot deck with cheap art that we got from somewhere probably.
Because like the High Priestess and the Empress are literally like the same drawing with like a different hat on top, stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, it's like emojis. The Chariot is the Chariot is a cat in a convertible driving at high speed, which is that's a new one.
See,
I
and
didn't
this
expect
goes
that.
this
The
goes
Hermit
back
is
to the
a
thing we were talking about earlier, where it's like, can you get results with the Kawaii Tarot cards? I mean, probably, but why would you want to? Like, they're just kind of,
Yeah, I mean,
this is made for
I
someone to
talked about
buy
the-
and be like, oh, isn't this cute? And then leave on the shelf for the rest of its existence.
Well, I remember the Robert Johnson story.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
from who knows how many episodes ago, where the woman doing the dream analysis and she's writing all her dreams in the little Mickey Mouse notebook. This is Mickey Mouse Tarot. Because of that story, I used the term Mickey Mouse Tarot, and that's exactly what this is. I just happen to have a growing collection of Mickey Mouse tarot cards. Tarot cards that I don't use, I just find really funny.
Well, what about these Celestial Tarot cards? Like, I'm looking at it. It's just kind of like,
There again,
it's not even creative, is
they're
it?
just
It's just
boring.
like,
They're just boring.
they've got like
yeah.
starry backgrounds and then silhouettes. The Chariot is like an archer in a chariot. The Three of Swords is the classic heart with swords in it.
Yeah.
The Ace has the hand. The Knight of Wands is particularly lazy. It's like a knight's helmet and a wand. It's just not very good.
It's the bare minimum. I have a thing that I do with every tarot deck where I ask it questions because somebody told me to do that one time and it just seemed like a neat thing where you ask things like, what do you think of me? How can I properly use you? Like, what is, that sort of thing, right? to try to have like a correspondence with the tarot deck as an entity, I suppose. And I just remember this one really like putting my nuts to the fire.
Really?
Yeah, where it was like, yeah, I know you think I'm a fucking hokey deck, but you get out what you put in.
Oh, wow.
That was the interpretation I had made. If I could remember the exact cards I pulled, I would tell you, but that was like literally the interpretation. So, you know, maybe that's a sign.
And maybe
this deck don't fuck around.
And the Kawaii deck just said a bunch of stuff that you couldn't interpret because it was in Japanese.
It said something about remilitarizing, which was concerning.
All right. So I have to guess what they cost.
However,
go ahead.
Yeah, take it. Yeah, well, I was going to say, it's like, yeah, I will say that just as a whole, the cards themselves are very boring. And when it comes to tarot decks that I really like or I really want to use, normally there is a certain level of resonance of like, I find the Thoth deck is kind of the standard for me, where there's so much symbolism embedded in every card.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, and Lady
that
Frida
you can
Harris's
get a lot out of
art
it.
is just fantastic.
Immaculate.
Right.
Chef's
Oh,
kiss.
yeah. Like that. I'm with you there. The Thoth deck is like my standard for what a tarot deck should be. It's tarot on fucking steroids. Like everything. You can stare at a little corner piece of one of those cards and get something interesting out of it.
At the same time, a Thoth deck is going to run you like what, $20-$30?
Yeah.
These were what?
I'm going to say that they were both $250 each.
Okay.
Wait,
And
I
for
understand.
anybody
I
that
understand the
doesn't
idea of Five Below, right? Everything's below $5.
Well, there is a section for Beyond 5 where it's like, these are the high quality items. But also, for the record, if you're buying something over $5 at a Five Below, go buy it somewhere else. But I will say that none of the items are from that section. So everything is $5 and below.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm gonna say I'm gonna hedge my bet and say $275. That's what I'm going with.
$275. Okay, cool. We have one more deck, but it's not a tarot deck.
Oh.
However, I'm gonna pivot and talk about my favorite item in this whole list.
He told me about these already, folks. These are the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I was screaming at you saying you're not a real magus because you do not possess the arcane artifact that I have.
I can hear them fucking
close
clicking.
to the microphone.
They're called astrology dice, folks.
Shut up. I'm doing ASMR. He's right. They're called astrology dice. And I'm going to post, like, all of the photos of this are going to go on the Instagram and the Facebooks.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you kids like.
Yeah. They're what? They're like 12-sided dice or something.
They're like, something like that. Like,
well, one of them has the zodiac signs on
12-sided.
it, so I assume you would need at least 12.
Yeah. They're 3 12-sided dice. One has all the zodiacs. One has the planets on them, and then it's like, I think it's a repeat of a couple of them. And for like, anyway, it's not that important.
I was gonna say, because there are not 12 planets, but these are definitely all the same dice.
Oh, wait. No. It's individuals where it's like it's your north node, your south node, and then like something else to sort of like buffer it or to sort of pad it out, but to get it to 12. And then it's a dice that is literally 1 through 12. Right?
Yeah.
So here's the fun part about this. These were like right by the front, where there's like the weird, stupid impulse buys, like the candy and everything else, and like keychains.
Well, they definitely got you.
Oh no, this wasn't an impulse buy. I knew in my soul this wasn't an impulse. This was a calling.
This was filled with significance.
Yeah, this was
my favorite part is looking at the package. It says 14 plus on it. You got to be at least 14 years old before you start fucking with the astrology dice, folks. It's dangerous magic over here.
if you're 13, you might try to eat them and choke.
So what do you
Or
even
put them up your nose.
what
or
do you
something.
even do with these things? Like does it give you like a divination system of how to operate astrology dice? Or is it just like it's got numbers
Well, if you
and
shut
letters?
up, if you shut up, I'll tell you. Listen. You hear
You're
that?
just fucking clicking them.
There's a little booklet that goes along with this. Thank God. And I didn't even realize it was a booklet till like I had these things for a couple days and I was laughing hysterically. And I pulled out the little paper insert and I was like, oh, there's stuff written in here. It's folded up.
Just like a man. Don't read the instructions.
It's folded. It's a fourfold.
Oh.
Like Heidegger.
Oh God.
That's a joke. Just
I
for
know. Thank you.
you. How to use your dice. Using your astrology dice is as simple as rolling them. Got it.
We're done.
One of them fell off. One of them fell off the table. Shit. Then interpret each glyph. Well, a number is I guess a number is a glyph.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't know.
glyph.
Try imagining what you are seeking. Clarity, direction, or assessment regarding a relationship, situation, or personal development instead. Use the guide to help you interpret your role. And then the guides are just sort of like things that pertain to what that planet is about. And it's like, it's very surface level, but nothing's explicitly wrong. So I guess that's good.
So, like, try them out. Give me a reading on this episode.
Okay. So what we've got here, let me do another roll because one of them fell off the table. All right, what do you want to know
Just
about?
how is
Consult
this
the
episode
Oracle.
going?
Miss Cleo. Oh, I can tell you how this episode's going. All right. We've got Aquarius. We've got Mars. And we've got the number 4.
Okay, so how would you interpret that for the dear listeners?
Oh, I forgot. I forgot. The significance of the number dice is that they're the houses.
Oh, right.
So
That
there
makes
is a
sense,
reason
actually.
that they didn't just throw a number in.
Okay.
Yeah. I should have remembered. Okay, so how do I interpret Aquarius and Mars? Damn, isn't there? Oh,
Well, just go with the book.
Now I'm. Just go with the book. I was gonna look up. I was like, wait. One of the Thoth cards is Mars and Aquarius, right? Like we're gonna cut through the bullshit. What did Uncle Al tell me? I get all my ideas from smarter people than me, so fuck it. Okay, it says Mars, pertaining to ambition, lust, motivation. Why is Mars lust?
I don't know. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Never mind, I was wrong. This shit is wrong. Anger, call to action, of the physical body, devotion.
Devotion? No.
Mars isn't about devotion. What? You're wrong. Never mind. These stupid dice are a crock. I shouldn't have bragged about them.
Okay, all right. So what's it say about Aquarius then?
Aloof, contemplative, overly empathetic, yet responding apathetic, conversational, and uncomfortable.
Okay. So we got
Okay. Oh no, wait. Anger.
We're super angry. We're super into it.
Uncomfortable.
They're really uncomfortable. They don't like. We're talking too much, and they don't like it.
Bro, we are balling out. These dice are actually absolutely correct.
And we got a 4.
Fourth house represents parental forces, domestic life situations, and ending home life. Oh, wait. Yeah, I remember because it's almost like a clock or whatever. Because it's like the 4th is at the bottom in any chart. Your 4th is going to be at the bottom, and that's like your sort of like your home life. But I think I'm remembering that right. My astrology is bad.
So parental, angry, uncomfortable.
Or home life, I guess. Domestic.
Our parents were not strict enough with us, and now we make a podcast that is uncomfortable and angry. Got it.
Yep, that sounds about right. How much do you think these were?
Fucking. I would pay nothing for them. I would make them give me $2 to throw them away for them.
Well, joke's on you. I gave a man a cow for these. He wanted to give me the magic beans, but
I'll say $1. Like, I can't imagine it's less than a buck. I know how much dice cost.
All right, cool. I just can't wait to show up to the D&D campaign with the astrology dice. Roll for initiative. I got a Mercury, so I win.
All right.
All right.
So
next one is
we have another deck of cards.
there
You
was
said.
I got a. Yes, these are called meditational cards. 54 daily meditations for everyday
Oh
life.
God.
All
These
right,
are gonna
all
be
right.
bad.
All right. I'm giving them a shuffle. A card fell out, so obviously that is the one. Recognize. Today, try to recognize those events that trigger your negative feelings. It's all about how you react. Recognize that you can change the way you react once you identify what's triggering your negative thoughts.
That's shit.
That's not really a meditation. I guess it's like that's like a conscious mindfulness awareness thing that you can carry throughout your
I mean,
day.
I guess, but it's like,
I
it's not
guess.
really. It's a meditation in the way that like Descartes was meditating. It's like, hey, think about this, dummy.
Fucking Descartes.
All right, give me another one.
Ugh. Next one. Know yourself. At the start of your day, take the time to say aloud 3 times. I know myself. I am smart, confident, and filled with self-love and compassion for others. That is who I am.
So lie to yourself. Got it. Yeah, these are like.
I mean, like,
This isn't really meditation at all. This is just sort of like positive self-affirmation.
yeah, that's not that. I mean, there's lots of types of meditations. I wouldn't call that one. Okay, take a breather. Take a small break during work today. Try to find somewhere quiet like your car or even the restroom. Clear your mind and close your eyes. Focus on the job at hand and realize that it doesn't define who you are.
Please, worker bee, take a moment to realize that you are not defined by your job, but keep your mind focused on the job.
All right.
Work.
Give me a number
slave,
between 1
slave,
and 54.
2.5.
2.5. All right, I've ripped the third card in half. So it just says muscle relaxation. Muscle relaxation meditation involves a practice that. And that's it.
What's the rest of it?
I don't know.
Fucking rip the card.
Where did I put the other half? Okay. Alternating tension and relaxation of a muscle group. Done in a particular order. One muscle group, then another. I mean, that can be closer to meditation, like in the idea of like the body work, particularly maybe like the Neo-Reichian stuff, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, but this still isn't much of anything. Give me one more.
All right. This one. Focus on breathing. For 2 minutes, clear your mind and inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. Take long, slow breaths. Exhale slowly. I mean, that's actual.
That's literally
that's
the
breath
one
work.
meditation card.
1 out of 54 ain't bad.
Okay, all right. How big are these in relation to the other tarot cards?
Let me look. About 2/3 of the size, or no, more like 3/4 of the size.
Oh, wow. I feel like I need to up my price on the other tarot cards now, but I'm going to say this was $2.
All right. And last, but certainly not
All
least.
right, here's the meat. Here's what you wanted,
have-
folks. This is the fucking book.
This is the fucking book. But I gotta take a piss. so-
God damn it. You are going to Bolivia.
In the meantime, listeners, I realized I dropped one of the meditation cards. So I'm gonna tell you, and you should focus on this meditation while I'm gone. Make an area. Create a special area in your home or even in the corner of your room. This is your relaxation area. Add candles, incense, plants, and different beautiful images that hold meaning. So get on it.
Yep, do that, and we'll be right back.
Sometimes a psychic is the perfect one to talk to when love is slipping away.
You told your boyfriend a big secret yesterday.
Oh my God, I told him I'm pregnant.
But you also told him something else. That it's not his baby.
No.
So
it's
the
not
last
his.
thing we have is this book.
Yeah. And this book is it's not schlock, it's not garbage, but it's something, all right. I'll tell you that. It's called The Book of Practical Witchcraft, A Compendium of Spells, Rituals, and Occult Knowledge by Pamela Ball. And I looked into Pamela's bibliography. There are a lot of books written on dream interpretation. 10,000 Dream Symbols or Dream Interpretations, the Dream Interpretation Dictionary, this, that, and the other. There's a couple books on spellcraft and that sort of thing. There's, I don't know how else to say it. I don't want to be mean to Pamela, but these are like bargain bin spell books.
I mean, really? No
These
shit. Where did you get
fucking
it?
thing. The only two notable oddities that I found was that one, this book was being sold for like $23 somewhere. And it was like, fuck, I got it. I'll tell you this. I got it for a lot less than that. I got it for under, well, not,
So you got it for
$5
$5.
I'll tell
you
you
got it
that.
for $5 is what you just let out with that.
Fuck.
Got him.
There you go. Got him. But that's not the important part. Oh, the other notable book that she wrote was Jack the Ripper, a psychic investigation.
A psychic investigation?
What?
She went around fucking astral projecting, asking about fucking Jack the Ripper.
Who was at Whitechapel? God damn it.
Oh, what the fuck? That's great.
Oh, my fucking
So what
God.
kind of
Look,
stuff
look,
is
look,
in the
look.
book?
I don't want to be... This woman is still alive, and she is on Twitter. So, like, I'm going to probably shout her out when we're doing this. But, like, I just don't know what else to say. This book is just sort of, like, exactly what you would expect for a fucking cheapo, written for the money type thing, man. It's like, this is not an in-depth look or how to start. And granted, everybody's got to start somewhere, right? I'm trying to be cool about it. I get it. But you can also steal much better books for much cheaper from people who won't even miss the money because they're dead.
So
All
what
right.
kind of where do we
start-
get in this? What are we given?
I'd like to start with the first page.
Oh, that's never a good sign.
It says, harm none. Fuck off. No, like that right off the bat, the whole notion
Page
of
1.
you
Wrong.
should only Yeah, I mean, look, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Strike hard and low into hell with the master. The chaos magic answer is nothing is true, everything is permitted. This notion that magic should only be for good purposes is nothing but a moralized, self-imposed limitation that you shouldn't bother with. If you think magic is real in any sense of the word, if you think it's just psychology, then you know, magic ends at the end of your nose. Like what the fuck? You're gonna hurt somebody? What? If you think magic is absolutely like I can send a fucking demon off to somebody and have them get fucked up, then like, why aren't you going to do it? Nietzsche, men think themselves good because they lack claws. Like what? Just do it. Just do the thing.
Just curse somebody, listeners.
cares?
Just fuck them. Just fuck them up
like,
forever.
whatever. If you are really at the point where you think I'm going to fuck somebody up, go for it. I don't even care.
I'll tell you to just take a 5-minute break and see how you feel about it. Because you can end up some bad situations that way.
Lest we be accused of undue influence, as have others before us, we hereby take responsibility for the words written within the pages of this book. We do not, however, take any responsibility for your performance of the spells and rituals therein, nor for the results of the use of the powers.
If this book doesn't work, sorry, folks, you got fucked.
Introduction. The desire to change and improve our situations has been around for many thousands of years, if not since humans first walked the earth. Magic and spell workings have always been a part of that, and still are. Anyone who practices any form of magic, including spell working, needs to be grounded. This means having both feet firmly planted in reality.
It means you go to your room and stop acting like a fucking wizard. Not at my dinner table. You're grounded.
And having a basic knowledge of what magic is and is not, what spells can do and can't do, and what, with practice, you can do with the tools, information, and knowledge you have. This book aims to give you that information in as succinct a manner as possible.
So this is just your basic beginner's book. That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
This is
It's
a book for beginners. You will learn how to do a magic and what a magic is.
This underlying desire for control comes to the surface most often in times of change, as we have repeatedly seen over the last 15 centuries. And it's just like that was an excerpt because it's like magic is about the idea of the desire of control. You have a lot to say about that, or rather the illusion of having control, but whatever.
Oh boy.
There is a brief history of witchcraft that goes from the Celts, the Druids, and the pagans to the encroachment of the Roman Empire, the Inquisition. Then it gets to witchcraft today, talking about Gerald Gardner.
Witchcraft Today? When was this book written?
Witchcraft Today was actually something Gerald Gardner published in the 1950s. Anyway, but the whole point is that he founded Wicca and everything else because he stole from Aleister Crowley. But
he did other stuff. I don't completely hate Gardner. I hate Wicca, but I shouldn't.
I don't hate him. I don't even hate Wicca. I don't know. It's just like, it's pagan reconstructionist stuff, and it's like whatever,
I don't hate Wicca. I hate Wiccans, and it's just because, Wiccans are just, ugh. They're as bad as Thelemites. They're just kind of like, they got goofy ideas, and I think they're goofy.
But do they have a Boleskine Jimmy Page playhouse that they're trying to rebuild?
I guess not. So I guess they're a little bit better.
So they're better. Yeah. All right. This modern pagan religion, which has followers all over the world, honors the god and the goddess as the two main deities.
Real creative names.
That's not inaccurate, but it's also like, man, male, female.
Not a whole lot of
not
a whole lot of creative ideas. So is this person a Wiccan? Is that what they're getting at here?
This seems, and that's the thing. It doesn't even get hung up on ideas too much. It's just more of like, here's stuff to do, because as I'm going to get into, it starts talking about the tools that you're going to need. It is altar objects, where it's just like general crap that you're going to need on your altar, which is fine. Everybody needs something to put their candles on, or an incense burner, or stuff like that. The athame, which is just the sword for Wiccans.
Anathema.
Athame is anathema to my entire magical practice.
But yeah, so it's just the sword.
The sword is air, god damn it.
So okay. Just the usual magical weapons then it's the wand, then it's the cup.
No, it's got much more, because it has the besom. The besom is a different name for a broom. I read that as bosom. And it was like, I don't have enough, I got some itty bitty titties, So it's like, I thought I couldn't do witchcraft. The bowline or bowline, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, is a knife that is traditionally used for cutting plants, herbs, wands, and other objects for spells and magical workings. It makes the distinction that the athame is used for like the ritualistic purposes, like the drawing of quarters and stuff like that. I will say, for a point of like what my practice is that if you have a sword, dagger, knife, whatever, and you're not using it to do stuff, like if you have a magical knife, for lack of a better word, and you're not using it to carve things or whatever, then like, what are you doing it for? If you have to have like a dedicated, like, here's the knife I use for the real work. Hey, what? Why?
Well, I think the athame's isn't it like it's not even an actual sword or a actual dagger. It's like a pointy piece of wood, ain't it?
No, I thought it was like a knife, like a dagger, like something like, generally it's got like the pointy. And granted, that's because I don't have enough knowledge of Wicca, so who knows? But it's just strange that it's like, there's like, all right, here's the knife that you use for cutting stuff, and then here's the knife you use for like directing energies. And I guess maybe that goes to the joke I was making, where it's like the sword is air, god damn it. If you're talking about like, if you're going the energetic model, the wand is the thing that directs energy. That's the thing, because that's the representation of the will. That's the thing that moves stuff. Peter Carroll talked about the magical weapons in Liber Null, and he said the wand was the one that was the least likely to actually be a wand. He said that a gesture could be the wand, that a mantra could be the wand. The idea that the wand was merely a tool that moved things, that directed the will, and not just explicitly like chaos magic or super early chaos magic end of it. Crowley or the Golden Dawn, rather. The wand is the will. The wand's the mover. The wand's a lever, and Archimedes, give me a big enough lever and a place to stand, I'll move the world.
Well, I guess that's sort of it. Is there something associated with the change from wands and swords elementally, so that the athame is fire, correct? So it's the will.
Yeah, that's the idea. I believe is that the athame is fire, so it's the will. But this really, it just shows my lack of knowledge of Wicca. I don't know why Gardner did that. I don't know. What's the purpose? What's the wand? How is the wand the intellect? If the wand is supposed to be
Look
air,
how smart I am.
you know?
I have a wand.
The other ones are the burin, which is a sharp pointed instrument used for inscribing candles and other magical objects with symbols. Again, use the knife.
Well, I mean, even
use your stupid magic knife.
Crowley used a burin for some things, I think. Mass of the Phoenix, you have to have one.
Well,
but he's carving his flesh up with it.
Well, that's also the difference between the dagger and that's because Crowley makes the distinction between the sword and the dagger.
Somewhat.
The scourge and the dagger and the chain, right?
Oh yeah.
So the burin in this question would be the dagger,
right?
Yeah. The magician is ready to plunge into his side, and I guess that's the chaos magician in me, where it's like one knife does the job, but maybe I'm missing something there, because I have done ornate rituals where I had the specifics of it, but I just feel like the shortcut is one knife, 1 point, do the job. It worked.
One
good.
knife. Everybody knows the
good
rules.
Knife, I promise.
This knife, it do everything for you. 445.
I'm just playing tiddlywinks with my fucking magic knife, waiting to do a ritual.
Okay. So what do we get as far as like spellcraft and shit then? Anything interesting? Or is it just,
I'm getting to it. I'm getting
magic
to it,
jars?
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I have one more tool I want to discuss, and it's not to denigrate it. And this really isn't about denigrating it. It's just, I guess it just shows where we're at as far as it. It talks about the pestle and mortar. So like for grinding up stuff. I have a pestle and mortar. I use it for cooking, but the pestle and mortar are so symbolic of the union of God and goddess that they deserve a special mention. Mainly used to prepare herbal mixtures and incense, they can also become part of your altar furniture when properly consecrated. So, like, what I'm hearing is mortar, pestle, God, and goddess. It's about
fucking.
Hold on, it's about fucking. It's lingam and yoni. It's I guess that was the wand in the cup. It's fucking.
My problem with this is that a pestle and mortar are never a binary. It's always a triplet, because you're always grinding something up. So this is implying that the god and the goddess got to have a three-way.
The god and the goddess have to use lube, is what it's saying. Here's the different types of spell workings. There's elemental, which is the type of magic associated with the elements and their own directional forces to create added power to give energy to your spells. There is color. Perhaps the simplest form of magic involves color. This method of working is also used in combination with other forms of magic.
Great. Thanks, Jackson.
I guess ideally you'd want to put all of these together, because then you'd have like a real ritual, bells and smells and all that
Right.
stuff.
So wait, are they not even giving you like anything like, here, try this out? They're just like showing you what the structures are?
No. The entire back half of this book is spells. I just wanted to throw this out there. Then there's not, because one of those, like, it mentions not magic. And I know a lot of people actually swear by not magic. I just don't understand it. I'm not like, I don't get macrame. I don't weave,
not magic.
So, whatever.
Like tying things. I thought you were like, they talk about not magic. What kind of fucking Dada shit is that?
Bro. Oh, there we go. There's
straight
our ideas.
woo way. This
not
is
magic.
not magic. the magic by
This
not
is
magicking.
And my guru came to me and said, "Why aren't you doing magic?" And I said, "This is not magic." And he knew I was enlightened. It mentions representational and symbolic magic, where you have a thing that represents a thing that you do a thing to, so it makes the thing do the thing that's representing the thing. You know, that's that goes back to the my sigil conversation, where it's like, if a sigil is just representational intent, then like anything is a sigil, because it's all just representation.
I'm just thinking about The Thing now.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes.
That's my favorite movie.
That's your favorite movie?
I've literally told you this before. That's the movie I can watch over and over and over and over and over and over and over again and never get tired of. It's my favorite movie. Done.
Judging you.
And there's a lot of stuff about candle. There is a whole section devoted to different types of candles. I have never given that much thought to candles.
What is it? Just like, this is what this color means. That's what this color means. This is what happens if you have a really big candle.
This is what a taper or a votive or a pillar candle or these other, or like a tea light, all these things. And then we get to the sections where it's like associations, where it's the color purple is associated with Oprah Winfrey.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Like I said, the second half of this book is actually dedicated to the proper spell craft, right? What is a spell? There are 3 important aspects to reciting a spell. First is that words are spoken with intensity and passion. The next is that the speaker also has a power and energy that with practice may be used effectively. The third component, the forces and powers belonging to that which is beyond the human. The combination of all these aspects gives a powerful spell indeed. And then it's divided into sections: love spells, bidding spells, blessings, healing spells, invocations, incantations. The first full section is friendship, love, and relationships. To attract a new friend, you will need 3 brown candles, a sheet of paper, and a pen. Light the candles, put the sheet on the paper, and write down the attributes you would like to have in a friend. Say each one aloud and fold the paper in half twice. Twice now. Light the edge of the folded paper from one of the candles and repeat the words below. I'm not going to say all of this.
That's exactly what I would say after doing that spell.
With heart and mind, I do now speak. Bring to me the one I seek. Let this paper be the guide. I'm coming out here with some fat ass rhymes. And then the beat drops.
Bars, dog. Oh my God.
I really, that is like number one in my, that is
So
number
bad.
one in my hokiness level. That is that's number one on my hokey level. If your incantation,
well, how would you summon a friend? How would you make a friend?
How would I make a friend?
I'd go outside.
Yeah, go outside would be a good start. I mean, like, if you wanted to do magic,
do this outside.
I mean, I talked about this on the podcast before, is like doing magic to try to be in the right place at the right time to meet people and do stuff is like, that's something you can do. I just don't think like, kindergarten poetry is the way to go with it.
Light the red and white candle and say, I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Skip ahead. What else we got?
Okay. Hold on. There's a good one. To create opportunities for love? Hold on. No. We'll skip past the love spells.
Again, just on a random note, it's like talking about do no harm none. Again, implying that anyone that would be in a relationship with you would not be harmed by it at all.
Yeah, no one ever gets harmed by a relationship. Cleansing an aura. Okay.
Oh, awesome.
This spell is cleansing.
Does she explain what a fucking aura is?
Well, hold on. Well, here, I'll just get to the method. You put your left foot in, you take your left foot out, you put your left foot in, and then you shake it all about. I'm reading this verbatim.
You do the... No. Please tell me what it
that's
actually
what it's all
says.
about. Okay?
Jesus Christ. What's the damn spell?
Find a spot which you feel comfortable in your open space. The choice of spot will depend on what you are attempting to get rid of. Be sure to take your time choosing so it feels absolutely right. Settle yourself comfortably on the ground. Take a deep breath and exhale. Your exhalation should be slightly longer than your inhalation. Do this 3 times to clear your lungs. Of what? Did you have a fire in your house beforehand? Did you make some really bad fish?
All the incense you were burning before this.
Say as loudly as you can. O. Repeat the sounds at least twice more, increasing in intensity each time until you are actually screaming. Scream until the authorities come. Tell them you have a bad aura.
When they take you to the station, they will delouse you, and this will clean your aura.
The feds have an aura cleaning machine they don't want you to know about. Oh.
So you vibrate the name, and does it just say keep doing that? Is there anything
I've
else to
already
it?
moved on. There's one called Isis Girdle. It doesn't say what it's about. Hold on, let's see.
Okay.
This spell is based on not magic. It's not magic. And is used to ensure that your energy is at the right level for your magical work. So it's like a preliminary. Buckles, belts, or girdles are often associated with Isis or Venus and therefore aspects of femininity. Belts are feminine? Guys, is it gay to wear a belt? Seems a little spicy.
Because women be wearing them. It seems
women be wearing belts, you know, that's all I'm saying.
Fellas, is it gay to kiss your wife on the lips?
It can be performed on a Wednesday during any moon phase. What Wednesday is Mercury? Wednesday is Mercury, right?
I guess. I don't know of any associations of Wednesday and Isis or Venus.
Friday is Venus. But I guess nobody wants to be tightening. Friday, I want to take my belt off.
I guess.
You will need 3 links of cord about 9 feet. Jesus, 9 feet? You're telling me I need like almost 30 feet of rope to do this spell? All right, moving on.
What else does it say?
I've moved on. I'm done.
You're not even giving this thing a chance.
Not. This is trash. You want me to? Hold on. I got it.
Give me one more.
No.
Give me one more, and then we'll end this.
Before you begin, decide on a purpose of your girdle. To use one specifically for health issues, you might choose the color blue. To work from a spiritual perspective, choose purple or white. Start braiding the cord. Doesn't say how to braid it. And as you do so, keep in mind that you are fashioning 3 aspects of self: body, mind, and spirit. That sounds like Cartesianism.
I hate the body, mind, spirit shit.
To become one source of power in all that you do. That way, the braid becomes an extension of you and a protector of your being. Call on the power of Isis to give you strength and determination. Tie a knot at both ends to tie in the power. Now consecrate the girdle by holding it in your left hand and circling it 3 times counterclockwise with your most powerful hand. This was something that I forgot to mention. There was a mention of your powerful hand, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Get my strong hand. But then it said in parentheses, the one that you believe gives out energy. So now we're back to belief as a tool, which goes back to what we're saying is that there's a lot of chaos magicians that don't realize they're chaos magicians. If your criteria is, I think this is the one that does the thing, you're a chaos magician. It doesn't matter if it's your strong hand.
That might be a step too far, but I will say that I do think it's weird that they're like, pick your strong hand. Pick your J-O hand.
That's
is what they're
saying. But Isis, mistress of the words of power, cleanse this girdle for my use. That doesn't even rhyme. Consistency book. Visualize it surrounded by bright light, yada, yada, yada. In the future, every time you put on the girdle, you should be able to sense the energy, giving you the power to carry out your chosen task. Now that goes to what I was talking about as the idea of infusing things with meaning. So, like I said, we're giving this book a hard time.
This is the fancy version of David Lynch's thing of when I want to be lucky, I untie my left shoe.
I mean, sure. I mean, like, granted, we're giving this book a hard time, but it's like, I'm sure, like, tons of people have probably picked up this book and gotten something useful out of it.
If you're a baby magician or something, I'm sure you'll get plenty out of it.
There's just better ways to do it.
Yeah, you could have gotten a copy of Liber Null. You could have gotten a copy of Liber Abba. You could have gotten, I don't know, fucking Prometheus Rising probably would have been a better start.
Prometheus Rising is the best thing you can do if you want to start doing magic. And it's got nothing to do with magic.
I mean, hell, even you could listen to fucking Grant Morrison talk about pop magic and probably get a better start than this. This is just sort of giving you like very basic Western esoteric practices that probably don't really work that well.
The ultimate answer is that the best starting point for magic is actually Black Leviathan, Grimoire of the Big Forehead Tribe. But that's really hard to find. So, what you can get.
Right, yeah, they got to do a new pressing
of it. I'm
waiting
for that, honestly. Then there's an entire section devoted to the evil eye.
Really now?
Mm-hmm. Diagnosis of the evil eye.
What's it saying about the evil eye?
Removal of the evil eye. How to give the evil eye. That's actually, no, it's not. It's really just, okay.
They're telling you to remove someone's eyes?
Cut out their eyes.
Diagnosing the evil eye. That lady over there is giving me the evil eye.
For some reason.
Removal of the eye. I took a fork to it.
Evil eye, they have the Illuminati pyramid, the Eye of Providence. So, like, that's
great.
Sus.
That's wrong, is what it is.
Money, luck, and career. Foot wash for magic. This is a folklore recipe and would strictly only become a spell if an incantation or invocation were added. You will need black cohosh root, a cup of boiling water, and a small bottle. Chew on the root. Dump the boiling water on your feet. Crack yourself over the head with the bottle. You're dumb for buying this book. I've got to stop. I've got to stop. This book is not that bad. I'm too gone. I'm too turned. Worst episode ever.
All right. Yeah. So we know that this one was $5, so I get a point at least.
Oh, hold on. Home personal protection. There was one that I was like,
oh no.
Prevent intrusion into a building. And that's like, it's
get a gun.
Called the magical entity of ADT. But this one's like an energetic thing where it's like creating a visualized ward around a home, which is like, that's sure. Protection bottles, protecting yourself prior to a journey. I mean, it's like they're all very basic sort of things. Conclusion. Finding the magical journey is a journey of exploration. As always, it is only possible to give guidelines as to what has worked for others and what may work for you. If a spell doesn't work, try it again on another occasion and use your intuition to decide what might be adjusted to suit your personality. The actions taken during spell making become so personal that only you know what you did to make a technique work. For this reason, spell making is a hidden art and one that needs to be shared.
No, you get a journal and you fucking look at that shit and you analyze it.
No,
don't just it feels like it works
for the
here.
Record, what it's saying is you need, because like really goes, what you'll need. Notebook dedicated to magic work, white candle. I don't know what the candle's for, but writing your shit down is great advice. Well done, book.
Oh, okay. It does tell you
Write
to do
your
that?
shit
Great.
down. Yeah,
okay.
Figure out what the hell worked.
Thank God.
So that is our Magic Edition price of
Well,
shite.
hey, I guess in the spirit of the cheap show boys, what do you want to rate that book out of 5?
What would I rate that book out of 5? Honestly, I'd probably go like a 2. It's not the worst.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's about a 2. It's not the worst thing.
It's
not the best.
It goes to what you were talking about, where to sound shitty is like the people that I generally think are going to be good at magic are not going to be. They're going to look at this book and go, "This is hokey trash." they were the type of people that are going to be good at magic are too pretentious. So they're going to need to go find something that has some legs, you know? Now, at the same time, if you were like a child or something and you got this book, this might be the thing that sets you on the road. So good for you. And, you know, they're...
Yeah, like 14-year-old person just like finds this book and like, okay, I'm going to try some spells. That could definitely get you on the road.
100%.
I think what I do like about this book is that it at least... It seems like the kind of thing that if you didn't actually know anything about magic at all and you just tried it and it worked, it could definitely get you somewhere.
It's not wrong is the thing. There's nothing in this book that is like, that is absolute trash and you shouldn't do it.
Well, do your Venus ritual on Friday.
Oh, well,
stupid.
yeah, there's that. And then there's like sorry, let me correct. Some of the associations seem a little weird and off, but other than that, it's not it is really, there's worse books you could get if you knew absolutely nothing. Here's the problem though. If you know absolutely nothing, like a Google search could probably set you on the path. I know Crowley uses some bullshit flowery language, but you know, Liber Abba ain't gonna steer you that wrong.
All right. So to round it up, do we want to go over? Did you write down any of the prices
I know what all of these
shit?
cost. So you said
what were the tarot cards?
For the tarot cards,
I said $275, and they were
$4.
Bullshit.
Yep, $4.
This game is rigged.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. $4 for each of them.
Spent $8 on shitty tarot.
You can't.
Hope you're proud of yourself.
There are shitty tarots that cost more than $8, so I feel like I gotta find.
Okay, all right. What about the
astrology dice? The my favorite, the best
astrology
thing in the world.
dice. Yeah.
You said
what was it?
$1.
I said $1.
You're gonna be furious.
They're like $4, aren't they?
$5.
Bull. Oh my god!
I didn't see the price. I scanned them and it was like, fuck. Well, shit, I'm not taking them off. I'm walking out with these. I don't care. Yeah, wait.
Holy shit. $5 for astrology dice.
I have a friend that 3D prints. If you really want some astrology dice, I will get with me and we'll just print you up some astrology dice and it won't cost you $5. It might cost you $5 at shipping, but if you want to meet me at the back alley, you know, we'll make it work.
All of our Patreon supporters, if you support us for $5,
we'll get you. We'll
get the custom CM and astrology dice.
I'll get you astrology dice that have the logo on it and everything. That'll be perfect. Okay, meditation cards.
Oh god, these are gonna be like $3 now too, aren't they?
I believe you said.
I said $2.
$2 for these. Hold on, let me look.
Yeah.
$2.50. So you actually get a point for those. You get a point.
I get
for
a point.
Those.
I get a
You
point. Okay.
And then I gave away the witch book. So yeah, you got 2 points out of a possible what? 5? You got 2 out of 5.
I guess.
2 out of 5, just like this book.
Man. Well, that was an ordeal.
This was an ordeal.
It was fun. We should get more like cheap ass occult stuff and do this again. That'd be fun.
Oh, well, I've always got an eye out. Like I love, and I've mentioned in the previous episodes, I am amassing a collection of cheap, stupid tarot decks. So like definitely got those. The tarot decks aren't nearly as fun. Like I think the book, the astrology dice, the meditation cards were probably more interesting to talk about, but like I'm always looking for stuff. This was probably as frustrating to get through as it was absolutely self-indulgent. So if you've held on this long, congrats, you know, you're great.
Well, it's time for our usual palate cleanser. How goes the work?
Well, for me, I've mostly been doing some very preliminary stuff to try to reinvigorate things, you know, re-enchant the world. You know what I mean?
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Try to make things feel magical again. I haven't done much tangible like I was trying to make this happen. But I think part of it was just because before the holidays, during the holidays, and then right after, I've just been dealing with so much crap that it was hard to get stuff done. But I made time to do some reinvigoration of my practice, and things are hopefully going to pick up. I do have a little frog pondering about things. So that's something.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're doing stuff.
What about you?
Oh, I'm getting back into the Enochian.
If you end up in that desert again, dude, I swear to God, I'm not even joking.
Enochian's always been good for me. It's hard stuff, but every time you do it, I really feel it does bring a lot of insight.
While you're doing that, ask the angels why they can't just speak English, and do it in the most like American way possible. My goddamn country, speak English. And with that said, this has been Chaos Magic News.
That's right. This has been Chaos Magic News, the only podcast that has to secretly redo things behind your back.
As always. Oh, you got one?
No, go ahead.
You came in harsh as fuck, homeboy. Are you good?
Yeah, just go ahead. Go with it.
I was going to say, as always, if you blew a bunch of money on a stupid magic book that can't even get the planetary days right, write to us at our Golganuza compound. Tell us about it. And if that doesn't work, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Chaos Magic News.
Yeah, you can find us there. You can also find the website, chaosmagicnews.com, where we'll have links to the pod, articles, interviews with some of the greatest in pretty much anything you could ever want from us. And I guess with that said, Bargain Bana, would you like the last word?
Oh, to be a pondering frog.
Oh, to be a frog indeed. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye. It's a 40 ounce, not a 32. A 48 is too high, about as high as the sky when I drink a 40 ounce. Hey. What do you think? What'd you think of my song? You walked away from this. God, fuck you. You're the worst.